I feel very, very emotional to be part of this incredible initiative focusing on water. Climate change is accelerating the shortage of water, but population and so many other factors are affecting water supply everywhere.
What is the main causes of this pollution over water or pollution over air?
Who's guilty? Mankind is guilty. We are progressing so fast as a whole society. It's an integrated line of guilt across the society and across the world.
Do you have resources for fresh water, or what do you guys use? Do you use the ocean water with the desalination plants?
But fortunately for us, we are a small country and a small population. It's an island. We have very heavy tropical rainfall.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं आकाश शर्मा और आप देख रहे हैं वीर भारत पॉडकास्ट। दोस्तों, कभी कभी इतिहास सिर्फ किताबों में नहीं मिलता, कुछ कहानियां लोगों के दिलों में जिंदा रहती हैं। इंडिया से लगभग 180 साल पहले गए लोगों की यादें आज भी कैरिबियन के देश त्रिनाद और टोबैगो में महसूस की जाती हैं। वहां आज भी दिवाली मनाई जाती है, इंडियन कल्चर को गर्व से जिया जाता है और इंडिया को सिर्फ एक देश नहीं बल्कि अपने रूट्स की तरह देखा जाता है। आज हमारे साथ मौजूद हैं त्रिनाद और टोबैगो के हाई कमिश्नर हिज एक्सीलेंसी चंद्रनाथ सिंह जी, एक ऐसे डिप्लोमेट जिन्होंने सिंगापुर, चाइना, मियामी और न्यू दिल्ली जैसे कई इंपॉर्टेंट प्लेसेस पर अपने देश का प्रतिनिधित्व किया है, लेकिन उनकी सबसे खास पहचान है इंडिया से उनका इमोशनल कनेक्शन। आज की बातचीत सिर्फ डिप्लोमेसी तक सीमित नहीं रहेगी। हम बात करेंगे कल्चर की, हिस्ट्री की और उस रिश्ते की जो हजारों किलोमीटर दूर होने के बाद भी आज तक जुड़ा हुआ है। तो चलिए शुरुआत करते हैं सदानीरा के इस खास इवेंट में। वीर भारत पॉडकास्ट सीरीज के इस खास एपिसोड में स्वागत करते हैं हम चंद्रदत्त सिंह साहब का। हिज एक्सेलेंस, आई वुड लव टू वेलकम यू टू दिस पॉडकास्ट। Firstly, thank you for giving your valuable time to us.
Sure.
I would love to ask you, how are you and how are you feeling after coming here in Bhopal in Sadanira event, which is organized by Veer Bharat and MP government?
Well, I feel very, very emotional to be part of this incredible initiative focusing on water. But to answer your bigger question, this is my second time. I was in Ujjain for the film festival and now here for this event.
Wow.
So although it's a very, very warm welcome, I'm enjoying, and my wife and I are enjoying every moment of it because we see the importance attached to this event and the effort of the department and the organizers, Tiwari Ji and others, focusing on a very unique, very creative approach to dealing with a subject that's of tremendous importance to people. That's water conservation. The show last night by the Chow dancers focused on water. That was very impressive. When you get 4 people to beam a message of importance like water conservation, you're hitting the right note. Because those are people who are connected to the earth more than city and urban dwelling people. So their message is even more important because they live and sustained by the environment. Water is the most important. So their message was very important to me last night. Today, the photo exhibition which I just saw is again tremendous. I mean, such a large collection of fantastic miniature type paintings from religious scriptures, isolating the subject of water, showing the fullness of water to importance to man historically. But we reach a juncture now, and that's why this event is so important, where the conservation of water has become even more critical. Climate change is accelerating the shortage of water, but population and so many other factors are affecting water supply everywhere. People have to become conscious, more conscious of conservation, of saving water, or else this planet is in deep trouble. We are in deep trouble already with water shortage. So the message couldn't come too late. It couldn't come too early. This is the right moment to beam messages to people. And the way you're doing it here in Bhopal is the right way, with a mixture of culture and traditions and scriptures and art and painting and music. That's what I think is the best and most wholesome approach to dealing with this subject. People are already facing critical water shortage. Here in the Punjab, you have the lowering of the water table, where if they don't stop pumping so much water out of the ground for rice planting in Punjab, you will have an intrusion of salt water. That's critical. But other places, I understand, some village was dried out. People had to move out of the entire village because there was no more water. So we are facing a problem, and I'm very happy as a diplomat representing my country to be here, to witness and to participate and to encourage and support this event. But I think this event needs to be moved around throughout the whole country. And an exhibition of this nature should go around the world for people, especially in areas where people are wasting water and people are facing critical water shortages. This kind of exhibition needs to be taken around so people can feel the need to focus on water conservation and the importance of water to life and to society and to the future of the planet.
His Excellency, you are very right in this. I would love to ask you that I know that you have a very broad experience in this diplomatic relations and you hold a very high position. And currently you are here in India representing your country, Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. His Excellency, I would love to ask you that what do you see? Because if we talk about yourself, you were born in 44, I'm sorry. And today we are sitting here in 2026. What do you think? That what is the main causes of this pollution over water or pollution over air? What is the main reasons why water resources are depleting? Why the resources which people are using or the world is using are day by day decreasing? What do you think about that, sir?
Well,
what do you think about the groundwater reality?
Well, there are a couple of issues here you have touched. One is who is guilty? Mankind is guilty. We are progressing so fast as a whole society. It's an integrated line of guilt across the society and across the world from all countries. But let's start from the top. The big corporations of this world are the number one violators of the rules and the regulations of conserving water for the future. The pollution from their big establishments, the amount of water they consume. So the big corporation, unless they have a guilty conscience, unless they have a concern, the masses are going to try their best. The governments are going to try to get masses to focus on conservation and proper use of water. But if the big corporations continue to do the damage of the environment and polluting water supplies and overusing water supplies, the problem is not going to be solved. Everybody had to get involved. But those who are more high profile, who are more visible in the world of water and water conservation and water safety propagation should be the corporations who have wealth, who have the commanding height of the economy, where the solution must begin there. I have to say, government also need to be careful how they administer the program. Sometimes politics get into the way. And so societies get away with issues of water violation and wastage and everything else that should not be there. Governments have to tighten up. Everybody have to play a part. Society must become aware of the importance of water to every aspect of their lives. And the farming, for example, without that, if you don't have adequate water supply, every problem. But people also have to, the scientists have to play a role in developing new variety of plants, agricultural and otherwise, that will conserve less water. That's important too, because if you over-pump water from the earth, from the ground, to take care of the farms, then that's dangerous as well. So education in school is critical, and I'd like to cite this particular exhibition, this particular event here, as one that should go to all the schools. It's well done. The paintings are incredible. It's a concentrated, focused collection of paintings of the highest level focus on water. How much more effective can you get than that? So this should go around. This effort should be multiplied. It should not be just a one-off event. It should be continuous throughout the country and throughout the year. But yes, I'm concerned. I come from a small island. We are surrounded by the ocean, but we too, everybody in this world have problem about water and should be concerned and should support each other. We need more international agencies involved and are responsible for the environment to play a part, to play a greater part. We need to mobilize the entire world population. I'm afraid if we spend our energies and time and effort and finances fighting wars, where are we going to get the resources and the time to focus on protecting the society from water shortage?
His Excellence, when we see Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, we see that it is an island country.
It's a Caribbean country.
Caribbean country.
Near to South America.
It is in Caribbean island country, so all the sides are covered with ocean.
Yes.
So what do you guys do for the water, for drinking? Do you have resources for fresh water, or what do you guys use? Do you use the ocean water with the desalination plants?
But fortunately for us, we are a small country and a small population. It's an island. We have very heavy tropical rainfall. So in the rainy season, we have no problem. But however, in the dry season, the limited lakes and ponds that we have dry. So we have some desalination. We would not like to encourage too much desalination because that has its own dimension of pollution and problems. But we manage. We are now trying to introduce new methods, new techniques. For example, rainwater harvesting. Is a critical element. I know that in New Delhi, for example, if you want to build a new structure, you have to, in your drawing, in your plans, submitting for approval, you have to show how you're going to collect rainwater.
Correct.
Now that's brilliant. That's terrific. All of us have to do that. We are smaller population, so we don't face the same problem like a big landmass, a big continent like India. But we do have problems. Everybody in the world have problems. So we have that fallback position where if things become critical, we'll have to do more and more desalination. Hopefully, the weather patterns, the efforts to control the climate would not create such a shortage and demand that we have to over-harvest water from the ocean through desalination.
Your thoughts are most inspiring, and I'm loving listening to your thoughts on what you think about the water conservation and your thoughts about water and how we should preserve it. His Excellency, I would love to ask you some more questions on the culture, because when we see some of the people were taken from India 180 years ago, it was the right time, from UP, Uttar Pradesh, from Bihar, from Bengal, and now when we see Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, they are 35% might be the population. 35% population is Indian origin population.
Yes.
So how do you see that? Do you feel any kind of emotional connect with that?
Yes, tremendous emotional connection. Because remember that our ancestors, 181 years ago, were taken to the sugarcane plantation under false promise. They were illiterate people. They couldn't read contracts. They put a thumbprint in contracts. The contracts were misleading. What was promised to them was not delivered to them. Where they went into a very harsh world of toil and labor and sacrifice and punishment. But life, society and civilization have a way of going in cycles. So our people who were taken there, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, and other Caribbean countries, took with them the spirit of India, the qualities of Indians. For example, the worship of the land, Mother Dharati, Dharati Mata, worshipping the land. Those Gurmitians who went there, they practiced that. They sacrificed and they helped to build our countries.
Diwali is also celebrated there.
Second?
Diwali is also celebrated there.
Diwali is celebrated there in a way that is unbelievable. People fast for 10 days before Diwali. There's absolutely no meat and eating and alcohol drinking. There are pujas before Diwali. People scrub their homes. I mean, Diwali is celebrated there with the earthen lamps being lit, not too much of bulbs, electricity. You walk through the villages on Diwali night, you will swear you're back in India when Ram is coming from the forest. And everybody celebrates. Diwali is a national holiday, So people of African origin, people of Chinese origin, we are a mixed society. Everybody participates in Diwali.
Most of the people here in India does not know that in your country also there is a Diwali holiday. I would just love to take a minute. दोस्तों मैं आपको बता दूं कि त्रिनाद और जो टोबैगो है कंट्री, वहाँ पर दिवाली मनाई जाती है. वहाँ पर दिवाली का नेशनल हॉलीडे होता है और हिज एक्सेलेंस का कहना यह है कि वहाँ पर 10 दिन पहले से ही लोग शराब या फिर उपवास रखना शराब छोड़ देते हैं और उपवास रखना शुरू कर देते हैं और पूजन पाठ वैसे ही होती है जैसे हमारे देश में होती है. His Excellency, can you please tell us about your journey, about your childhood, how it was, and who told you for the very first time about yourself, what your origin, about your country, that where from your forefathers belong? Who told you for the very first time, and what was your childhood dreams, and what was your journey?
Well, that's a very interesting question because unlike Fiji and Mauritius and East Kenya and the countries in the Indian Ocean, where Indians were also taken to Girmitias, we in the Caribbean were practically lost to India for the greater part of this 181 years. So we had to, our old folks who went there, the original Girmitias, and especially the Pandits, kept the culture and the traditions alive. However, as the older one passed on, there was no reinforcement of the language, for example. So I have a problem speaking Hindi. I've been to India for many years, so I have picked up some bit of Hindi. But generally, in my country, there are about 15 radio stations that play Hindi music 24 hours, 7 days a week.
Wow.
And the boys and girls sing and perform in a way that you would think they're straight from Bollywood. But they don't understand essentially what they're singing. You have to give it to them in English so they have an idea.
Wow.
And yet, they sing with such passion, with such emotion, that Indians will be amazed to know how we preserve our culture and our tradition without having a formal education system or daily practices articulating this culture. In a plantation society, the British and the French and the Spanish colonials wanted to convert the natives, the Girmitias, into Christianity and prevent them from practicing their cultures. So we have developed the art of cultural pluralism. One culture for the plantation. When you close your door in the evening, the Ramayana comes out, the Quran comes out, and they practice their culture within their door, so it never died. Suriname is very fortunate because Suriname was colonized by the Dutch. And the Dutch colonizers were more interested in mercantilism. Once you fill their ships with goods, they couldn't care what religion you practiced, what song you sang. So Surinamese are very fortunate because they can speak Sanskrit, Hindi, Urdu, they know the pujas, they know what they sing, they are fluent.
Wow.
Because they never lost it. Because the Dutch were not interested in converting them or in preventing them from practicing their culture. The rest of us, however, went through this period of colonialism, of creolization, but we survived. And praise to the mothers, women are always the custodians of Dharma and the Pandits. Now we have young Pandits who are coming to India and studying from Swami Chinmay and Nana and other institutes. So we have more literacy into the practice of Hindu culture. In my case, I grew up in an environment and in an era where we had to long to know things about India. So what was important to us was Mohammed Rafi and Lata Mangeshkar and Hindi movies. Those were the sustaining elements in remembering the motherland. My dream was to come to India. And I was fortunate that in my entire family, on my mother and father's side, in my entire heritage, I'm the one who got a chance to come to India 53 years ago. And I was at KM College at the same time with Amitabh Bachchan and Jigme Thenle, who was the Prime Minister of Bhutan, and the Gulchars of Nepal. And then I came back to India from 1988 to 1993 in the Trinidad and Tobago High Commission. I spent 6 years. Then I came back in 2011 to 2014 as High Commissioner. Then I went to China as Ambassador, then back to Trinidad, and now back to India as High Commissioner again. So I have had enough opportunities to learn, to look, and to feel the real India. But I have had another advantage that maybe other diplomats don't have, or other foreigners, and that is I have seen the transition of India from 53 years ago as a student at Delhi University, traveling by ordinary bus, living like ordinary Indians in the villages, crisscross this country, traveling by ordinary transport. But I've seen India transited over the period of time. And I feel a part of that transition. Because the way I live in India, even now as a diplomat, I get involved with the society. I get involved with the musicians. I get involved with people at large. So I feel this country, and I feel that I have bridged the gap between my ancestors who were taken there 181 years ago and bringing back their spirit to India. They're gone. They never got a chance to come back. They were cheated. But I have done that through me. And I also got my OCI card. So when I presented my OCI card at the immigration desk in Delhi, I felt that completeness. Wow. That I've now completed the journey of my ancestors.
His Excellence, did you ever thought, like you are sitting alone and you're thinking about something, did this thing ever came to your mind that, oh, okay, now I am in India and this was the place where my forefathers belongs to. This was the place where my forefathers used to live and they were cheated, they were taken off from here, but now I am here. And did you have ever tried to find out the places where your ancestors from?
Actually, I did. I did. So my old aunts and uncles who passed away never forgave me. They said, you were in India, you were a diplomat, you should have gone and found our family. Well, I tried. That's very difficult. Because over a long period of time, villages have changed, names have changed, people have migrated away. It's very difficult to look at a ship document that gives the name of your ancestors and the year that they went to Trinidad, the plantation they went to. That's not enough. Because people don't have an idea in my small islands in the Caribbean how massive this country is physically. So Jilabasti or Gonda village or Ara village is 10 times, 20 times bigger than our island. Where do you begin? Now the government of India is beginning to help. Through this Prime Minister Modi ji's government is beginning to make it a little easier for Gimitians to come and find their roots. So far we had to do it on our own and get lost, get cheated out there, get lost out there, and couldn't really find. I could not find my family connection, but I found in Gonda village, the actual area, the sugarcane planting area that my ancestors went from. I walked on that land. I went to the mandir, which predates the British, and I touched the mandirs. So yes, I've found the location where they went from. I walked in the soil where they went from. Have not met anybody who has a family connection. That is so long ago that requires plenty more work to do. But to me, the most important thing was walking on the soil that my ancestors walked on.
Wow. This is a very big thing. His Excellence, firstly, thank you for giving your time. It was very inspiring, very motivating. I love your ideas, I love your thoughts, and I loved the story also. It is very emotional, but the connection which you have with India, the roots, the ancestors, I loved all them. His Excellence, thank you for giving your time, your valuable time, and I would love to say you that things may go on and you are representing as an High Commissioner of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago here in India. So like Veer Bharat Podcast or Veer Bharat Nyas, what basically we do is we are trying to connect with the youths to the culture, to the spirit of society, spirit of culture. We are trying all the things to connect with the youths. And I would again thank you for giving your time. Thank you.
Sure.
Namaste.
Thank you. Namaste.